Welcome back everyone to the Which City Should I Move To series. In this video, we're going to be exploring the West Coast. If you haven't checked out the East Coast or Midwest videos yet, be sure to check those out. Alright, let's jump right into it. First up, we have San Francisco, and as the Tech Bible states, "Listen, my son, to your father's instructions. Honor SF with your money, then your career will be filled with plenty, and your future 500 square foot apartment will be bursting with wine." SF is one of those places where you either love it or hate it. On the pro side, you've got a lot of good people, good food, nice views, and lots of hills. But on the bad side, unsurprisingly, expenses itself is enough to eliminate 90% of people who considered moving there. One of my friends used to tell me that living in SF is like paying for a mansion, except you don't get the mansion. Other problems of the city include traffic, thievery, and homelessness. SF is really not for everyone, but for those who dare to stay, there's something about this city that keeps them there. Family. Let me be clear, there are only two groups of people that live in San Francisco: those who are software engineers and those who are studying to be software engineers. And because of the amount of bros in SF, dating can be a little bit hard. Let's take a look at the typical dating profile in SF. His pronouns are he, him, his. Most likely has a photo of him holding up a fish. He loves tech, has a couple side ideas for a future startup. He enjoys traveling and trying new food. Also, good vibes only. And as far as relationships, he's looking for someone who loves sarcasm. And somewhere in the profile, it looks like he's got vested stock options. And for the girls, you need a photo riding an elephant in Thailand. Their pronouns are she, her, hers. She also loves traveling and adventure. What a coincidence. On the weekends, she loves going to museums, and her go-to spot is Dolores Park. And in terms of relationship, it's pretty simple. Just someone to show her around, take her to new restaurants, and they're looking for true love. No guys under 6 feet, please. It's hard to talk about San Francisco without talking about the Bay Area, which range from rich people in Silicon Valley, old people drinking wine, the well-off suburb areas, and a bunch of nothingness. SF is pretty small, but even for a small place, you can see historical buildings, beautiful parks, and nice scenery. Just don't be at the street level or it'll smell like piss. And not all of California is sunshine and rainbows. Being on the coast, it gets quite chilly and foggy, and has a bit of a Portland vibe when it comes to the hipster culture, so you might encounter a lot of people wearing SpongeBob t-shirts. If you like to protest, enjoy cities that aren't actually flat, and enjoy hustling in your career, then SF might be for you. As they say, you gotta pay to play. Next is Seattle. Weed, districts, mild seasons. If you just moved to Seattle, chances are you've had this conversation with a local. The rain here sucks. It's mist. Hey, by the way, I've heard Seattle freeze is a thing. What do you think? You must have just moved here. That's true anywhere you go, isn't it? No, but I hear it's only a thing in Seattle. I think you're just not that interesting. Seattle is a city full of active and outdoorsy people and has a lot more nature compared to cities like Chicago. There's everything from the arts to outdoor activities, fishing, hunting, climbing. And it's a nice place to live. It's pretty safe and they got good food and beer. Yet people wear socks and sandals all day, and that's really the norm to deal with the weather. The rain seems to be a big topic for people who are interested in the city, but you'll manage without an umbrella. Cost of living in the city is pretty high, and you can probably start seeing a trend for most cities in the West Coast. You could work for Amazon, but should you work for Amazon? Tech companies may be hiring like crazy, but as products shift, they can also lay off like crazy. There's also been a lot of people from California moving to Seattle, and that's been frustrating for locals as those people buy up all the housing. So if you're considering moving from California, make sure to not have California plates in your car when looking for housing. But although there's transplants, a lot of families have lived in Seattle for many generations. In some places they have special medical care, the weather is not too extreme, and overall there's good innovation. If you don't like mosquitoes, want a semi-affordable city, and want recreation options, then Seattle might be the city for you. Finally, we have San Diego. Tacos, nude beaches, dudes. If you're not into surfing, you don't belong in San Diego. Flip-flops are also a must. Not with socks, this isn't Seattle, but wear them. Anywhere, anytime. All year, dude. If you're not too familiar with California, there's a whole thing about Northern versus Southern California, and it's usually that Southern California people are superficial, shallow, and just a bunch of narcissists. It's like the Kardashians are selling Sunset, and what you'll realize is all of it is true. I'm kidding. But what you'll realize is that there's a lot of different culture within SoCal, like between LA, Orange County, and San Diego. San Diego is a city that has a reputation for having a high quality of living, and rightly so. There's beaches, tourist attractions, and a lot of fit people. The San Diego County is actually one of the largest in the county, so each area will have a pretty unique identity. You got the younger, more liberal area, you got the rich yuppies, and you got the chill people. And not exaggerating, some areas of San Diego do remind me of Hawaii, just very beachy and calm. It's certainly a place I'd love to consider retiring in. So yeah, it's a city that's super chill, bruh, except when it comes to traffic. Oh, and those 2 days out of the year when it rains. And as you probably can imagine, most people will like spending time in the outdoors, drinking craft beer, or hiking. Or it can be one of those people that barely see the beach. You don't have to love the beach to enjoy living in San Diego. In terms of living there, San Diego lifestyle is slower paced, and if I haven't made it clear yet, it's very laid back, bruh. People here are nice, easygoing, it's a big military town, just don't mess with those guys. In terms of career, their tech scene is slowly getting better, and specifically biotech is a market that's been growing rapidly. But San Diego does lack some aspects that other major cities have. The transportation is okay, the trolley system has been expanding, but it's still not the most convenient. The price of housing is still pretty crazy, but that's pretty much everywhere. And there's also a huge homeless population which isn't properly addressed. But the more important issue, mosquitoes and ants. Yep. If you want to chill, say bruh all day and do this thing, then yeah, come to San Diego. But seriously, if you're compensated fairly, constantly miss Hawaii, and you like beer, then it's probably a good fit. And there you have it, the 3 S's of West Coast, that is San Francisco, Seattle, and San Diego. Whether you like the East Coast or West Coast better is a personal choice. Both coasts are incredibly diverse and life can vary depending on location, socioeconomic status, geography, weather, and just a number of other factors. And yet you can also live very similar lifestyles, despite being thousands of miles apart. If you do live or have visited one of these cities, leave a comment down below and let us know what it's like for people who want to move there. Bruh.